Hey everyone, welcome to the Industry Show. I'm your host Nitin Bajaj, and joining me today is Yug Varma. Yug, welcome on the show.
Thanks, Nitin. I'm really glad I'm here.
Pleasure is all ours. So let's get started with who is Yug?
I'm from India, from a small town called Nagpur, which is the geographical center of India.
Yep.
I like to joke that my dad's from Punjab, which is the north. My mom is from Calcutta, which is the east. I went to high school in the south, and I went to college in the west. So I'm literally from everywhere, and my hometown is the center. So I've had the pan Indian experience.
That's really awesome. So, you've had this multicultural Indian upbringing and growth, and then you came to the US for your studies, and now you've started Phyla. So tell us more about it.
Yeah, so as you said, my background is I did a master's in India at IIT Bombay, and then I came over to Johns Hopkins to do my PhD in bioorganic chemistry. So I'm now a microbiologist with a training in organic chemistry, and then I did a postdoc at UCSF in San Francisco. That's where I kind of discovered and fell in love with this technology called phage technology, and I was really looking for a great way to apply this. And one of my I won't say complaints or frustrations, but one thing I'd noticed is, especially in the area of microbiome research, is that all this exciting technology was coming out, all these papers being published, all this attention and hope for these technologies, but they just remained as scientific discoveries on published in journals. I wanted those discoveries to go further, be applied to a product, and for a product to be in someone's hands where they can say, oh wow, this is a product of microbiome research. Then I realized that I could be the one doing that, and so that's when I decided to start a company to take this microbiome research and really apply it. So that's what I've been doing for the last 7 or so years, and it's just been a really exciting journey.
That sounds, I mean, it's always great to be able to find a problem and then say, hey, maybe I should just solve for it, right? So tell us a little more about who's your ideal customer for Phyla, what's the size and scale of your operations, and, where are you going from here?
Yeah, absolutely. So Phyla is an acne system. It's a company that focuses on chronic bacterial diseases of the skin, starting with acne. So right now we have an acne system on the market, which is a minimalist system, which actually attacks acne from a completely new angle. For many years, we have known that acne is caused by bad bacteria, a single bad bacteria. But all the solutions that we have, while they all kill bacteria, they kill not just the bad bacteria, but the good bacteria on our skin
Mm-hmm.
as well. It's kind of like finding a weed in your garden and setting the whole garden on fire to get rid of the weed. Obviously, you would not do that. So the technology that we have allows you to, just like you would scoop up that weed and not hurt any of the plants around it. Our technology does exactly that. It kills only the bad bacteria, and leaves the good bacteria alone to flourish, to make a stronger microbiome and to protect you. So right now, we've been in the market for about a year or so. We've done really well. Things are, I mean, we're growing really fast. We're trying to hang on. Our team is about 8 people right now, and we're hiring, pretty actively, and excited for that part of the growth. We also have some really interesting partners and partnerships in the works, and hoping to announce more of that in Q1 next year. But it's been a wild ride. It's been really so gratifying to do the hard work on the science side, build a product, launch it, and then a lot of the what I do nowadays is education, right? Talk about the microbiome, tell people about the research and what that means for their skin, and that it has been really rewarding for us as well.
So, how does one go about finding and getting the product?
Right. So our product is online, sold through our store, our e-commerce store. We are at phylabiotics.com. Phyla is spelled Phyla. So you can go to phylabiotics.com. There's a lot of information about acne, what causes it, how different products work and how our approach is different. You can also, see us on social media at Phylabiotics on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, etc.
Okay. And would you say typically your customer base tends to be what kind of demographic?
That's right. It's for anyone who has acne. So typically, it's teenagers, but more
Mhm.
and more we're seeing over the past couple of decades, we've seen an increase in acne in young people as well. So it's estimated that about half of women in their 20s and a third of women in their 30s have acne now. And the number is similarly, although slightly lower for men. So it's, something that's been growing in our population. And obviously that is something of concern. We don't know exactly why that is, but it probably has something to do with our environment and, how we or in a more built environment. But this is an approach that works for all kinds of acne, whether it's mild, moderate, severe, cystic, hormonal, etc. Whether you have acne on your back or your chest, it works all the same.
And as you talk about this problem, uh, makes me want to ask you, what's the biggest challenge you're facing right now as a business?
One of our biggest challenges is getting the word out.
Mhm.
So here's the thing: acne is a huge problem, right? 85% of us get acne at some point in our life worldwide.
Wow.
Any society, any country you look at. Yet there has been almost no innovation for 40 years now, almost a half century.
Mhm.
The result is that people are using the same harsh products for their skin that has been used for generations, and parents trying to find something that works for their kid are saying to themselves, wait, these products are the same products I used as a teenager. I hated them, I was miserable, and nothing has changed. And so in the meantime, what has happened is all this research, especially around the skin microbiome, has come out shedding so much light. And now we've been able to take that research and bring it into the sort of product sphere. And the biggest challenge for us is getting that word out, right? That the same old approach, it has certain merits, but also causes all this damage. It causes relapses. These are the reasons why you shouldn't use it. And now there's a better approach, so you don't have to settle for that thing. So our biggest challenge right now is getting the word out, making people realize that this is the state of the research, and helping them make that informed choice for themselves.
Right, and that an alternate exists, and it's better and more effective. So, and hopefully we can help with addressing some of that challenge, right, with getting the word out. On the flip side, what is the biggest opportunity you're targeting?
I mean, the opportunity is there. Like I said, it's sort of two sides of the same
Sure.
coin, which is that 85% of people globally, not just in the US, have acne. One of the biggest markets, in fact, is India, right?
Right.
It's a large population, large prevalence of acne. And so that's the opportunity where, and especially for a product that isn't a niche product, it works for all kinds of acne in all kinds of people in all skin types. It works in cold weather, hot weather, tropics and temperate regions. And so the opportunity is absolutely huge. And beyond that, we actually have a technology platform with bacteriophages or phages where we can target any kind of chronic bacterial disease. So for example, we have several internal scientific projects, a couple of which are in advanced development, where we can start deploying solutions for eczema, for other skin diseases. And then the grander vision is to go into oral health and gut health, and eventually make a company that looks at health in a holistic way, looking at the microbiome, looking at the host, and coming up with a solution that addresses all of that without any of the side effects, without any of the harshness.
That's very promising, and something I think is becoming the need of the hour, right? Based on how things are starting to escalate and our bodies are getting attacked on all fronts. Uh, as you look back on this journey, is there a lesson learned or a success story that you would like to share with us?
Yeah, sure. There's so many. Um, you know, I'm one of my flaws is that I'm a bit impatient.
Right.
So this whole journey has taught me to be more patient. And I mean, you know, the life of an entrepreneur is always sort of beset by ups and downs.
Yep.
But sometimes, and I'm not particularly a very superstitious guy, but sometimes, man, some stuff happens just at the right time, rescues you in the nick of time, and you're just left wondering, wow, okay, you know, I was one step away from giving up or one step away from failure. And this thing just happened. One of the things early on is this was really early on when we were still bootstrapping. We had a space in an incubator. That was our lab space. We were doing research, and we were running out of money. We were, you know, on the way to a bridge. We were getting some money in from angels and stuff, but we needed like a month more. It got so bad we were down to sort of we wouldn't make rent for our incubator. All right, so I was just looking around, and just then on the UCSF campus there was a sort of conference, a student-run conference from the business school at Berkeley, Haas Business School, and they had a healthcare part of it. And they said, okay, you pitch, and the prize for that, for winning that pitch contest, is $2,000. Our rent was $2,000. So I said, look, I'm going to throw the dice. What do I have to lose, right? Whether I show up or not, I still have to pay. I have to find this money. So I go there, you know, all these really impressive guys from all around the Bay, Stanford educated, from Berkeley and all. I, oddly enough, have no nerves, because I'm just thinking, look, the chips may, you know, fall may where they may. I go out there pretty nerveless, probably don't even remember what I said. And yeah, at the end of the day, we won, and I walked away $2,000, put it in the bank, and paid our rent.
That is so cool. And, you know, like you rightly said, entrepreneurship is about ups and downs. And it's more about how many times, not how many times you fall, but how many times you get up, right? And you keep walking in the direction of your target, and just, and if you get up again and again, you never fail. And yeah, that's really cool. So, you know, since you kind of headed in that direction, let's talk about some one-line life lessons that you would like to share with us.
Yeah, again, sort of referring to the entrepreneur's journey and how difficult it is. And another friend of mine, an entrepreneur, and a college friend of mine, said, you know, entrepreneurship is hard. Something that I've really found helps me is the Stoic philosophy. Now,
Mm-hmm.
Stoicism is an ancient Greek philosophy. There are many, you know, sort of proponents of it from
Mm-hmm.
ancient Greece: Epictetus, Marcus Aurelius, and so on. So I started reading about Stoicism, and I've really tried to incorporate it in my life. And it really has made a huge difference in just your mindset, right? So there are many concepts in Stoicism. One of them is called amor fati, which means, you know, whatever is happening to you, don't feel like you're a victim. Don't say, oh, this is happening to me. Say, I love it. This was supposed to happen, right? Your boss yells at you, you get treated unfairly. Say amor fati, you know, I love this, I'm embracing it, because it will make me better. This is a test, and if I can step up to this, then I will be made stronger, right? And then there are other stuff like the best antidote to anxiety, because at the end of the day, all my mind is doing, and it's even now it's impossible for me to shut it off, is thinking, oh, okay, so I have this list, I did, you know, 60% of this, 40% is left to do. This is what, you know, I should have sent this email, I should have made this call, oh shoot, I need to go back to the spreadsheet and do it. The best antidote for anxiety is action.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if you're up at 11:30 and you feel, okay, put everything aside for 30 minutes, do as much of it as you can. You want to send an email tomorrow morning, draft it and schedule send it, right? You
Mm-hmm.
want to do something, make yourself some notes next morning. Once you do all that, you're able to get a little more peace.
Yeah.
And then finally, I think one of the other things that has happened to me is I started this journey when my kids were very young, about 2 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And as my kids have grown up, my other kid, the startup, has grown too. But I have twin boys who are now 9. And so it's been just a joy watching them grow and having a part to play in it. But it's also helped me, I think, become better at dealing with all sorts of situations.
Mhm.
Because when you have two little guys that are, about to throw a tantrum, and you need them to do stuff or be nice to each other or be quiet in the next room while something important is going on, you've got to figure out, okay, these are my coworkers. How do
Mhm.
I get them to do what I want, and align them to the same objective? So that's been really interesting too.
That's a really cool way of thinking about it, right? That they're not just two people throwing tantrums, but hey, they're my partners, right? And how do I get them to play along and make
Yeah.
things easier for me because there's other fish to fry.
Absolutely. And during the pandemic, they literally became my co-workers, right?
Yeah.
Because we were all at home.
Yep.
And so they were in one room learning and remotely. And then I was in another room working. And then I would have to go by and say, oh, hey, how you guys doing? Do you need anything? So came true.
Yeah, it's been an interesting time for sure. I don't know what your thoughts are, but I've been very grateful for that opportunity to be able to work alongside the kids and see a part of their life as it happens to them, and be able to include them in our work life, in our, and give them a perspective, right? Which previously I didn't even think uh, whether it was possible or not. The thought even didn't come to me.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's obviously changed the way we work and also changed the way we interact with all parts of our life, whether it's our family, whether it's our kids, whether it's, for example, I have family in India, my sister's in Germany, and I feel but back before the pandemic, you felt, oh, I can just travel, see them anytime. And you didn't do that, right? You would just put it off.
Hmm.
But now I feel, oh, it's been almost 2 years since I've seen them. I really, really, really want to see them. And so that sense of the world having felt smaller, but now it feels a little larger because you just feel a little separation.
True. And one thing you said that's been very true for me is we become more intentional, right? Like you said, we would think about it but not act on it. But the last 2 years has brought a lot of perspective, especially for me, where I've said, how can I get rid of the noise and be intentional, very intentional and focused about the things that really do matter to me?
Absolutely. I totally agree. And especially, I'll give you an example. My kids finish their school 3 or 4 o'clock, and then, we have some time before dinner. But then I want to finish all my stuff before then too, or by then.
Hmm.
Because usually I'd stay till 5 or 6 or whatever. And if I have a call or, meeting, then that's unavoidable. But otherwise, I try to finish up so that they're free, I'm free. We go out, we play, we kick the ball around, or we talk or whatever. It's the read together. It's so much fun, and that quality time that you can have every day and build it in is it's something you can have now.
So true. You, thank you for being with us. Thank you for changing the world one skin at a time, if that's even a thing.
Mhm.
And we really appreciate you making the time to be with us and sharing your journey. And hopefully, we can help with getting the word out that there is a solution, and you no longer have to continue to suffer using things that don't really work. And yeah, would love to keep this conversation going, bring you back in, see more of your inventions uh, coming to life.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me, Nitin. It's been a blast. I've really enjoyed chatting with you. And I hope your listeners, if they're suffering from acne, give Phyla a try or at least learn more about it. We're actually going to be opening up international shipping in a couple of weeks in early December. So that's going to be exciting. And yeah, there's a lot going on at Phyla. We have pretty ambitious goals. We want to, provide solutions for some really important diseases that people have suffered from and that are underserved by innovation. So just looking forward to the journey we're on.
Well, like we say, more to come.
Absolutely.
But thanks so much, you.
Thanks, Nitin.